Has formally launched the State Security Trust Fund in his administration bid to ensure a safer, stronger, more prosperous state through public-private partnership in security management. The event, which was held last week Wednesday at the Government House of Asaba, was greeted by captains of industry, security chiefs, community leaders, and top government officials who all graced the occasion. Elder Sheriff Oboriwori said the trust fund, established by law in 2013, was designed as a collaborative platform for mobilizing resources from the private sector to complement the government investment in security. He explained that the fund will focus on achieving modern surveillance equipment, operational vehicles, and communication tools, as well as supporting the training and retraining of security personnel and community vigilante groups across the 25 local government area. Elder Sheriff Oboriwori said security is not the sole responsibility of government, it's everyone's business. Without adequate security, development can never thrive, business can never operate freely, and investors will be reluctant to commit their resources. This trust fund represents our shared commitment to peace, public safety, and sustainable good, he stated. This very trust fund, according to many Deltans, are beginning to feel that yes, maybe things will definitely change in a state that has seen its own share of violence, especially as criminal and their components seem to have indeed taken siege of the whole Nigerian process. But the question still remains, what needs to be done by this very administration to better the lives of Deltans and make the big heart really secure for investment? All of that will take its center stage on the show today as we talk about Delta State securing the big heart. That's what we're having as a major discourse today on the show. We're talking about Delta State securing the big heart. That's what we're having as a major one. And to help us talk about this is a public analyst and also a critical stakeholder as it concerns security in the state. And I'm talking of no other person but Mr. Austin Luseva, JP. Good morning and welcome to Atlantic TV.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Well, anyway, it will be your first time coming here, so we really appreciate your time with us, knowing how really busy you are. But I want us to just quickly dive into the issue. Yes, just last week, Wednesday, precisely a week ago, the Delta State Security Trust Fund was, well, in every way inaugurated.
Yeah.
And we saw major commitment coming from major players as it concerns security. And like I stated in my introduction, it seems to be a state and a private partnership components trying to secure Delta. Well, this will be one of the first times since the law was established in 2013 by Delta State government for us to have such coming together. Now, in your own assessment, do you feel this is the right direction we need to go to better secure Delta State? And do you feel the government, or rather the governor said it all when he said, without security, definitely development will not come to the big heart?
Michael, thank you at least for having me for now. And
yes,
I would really say is a good direction.
Okay.
In the sense that it is good that the private sector and government, they partner together to drive security in our state. The trust fund has been there since 2013 and law set up by the law in Delta State, and it's been running, but you know, there comes a time where issues come to the fore where government can say, okay, let the private sector come in, and from the event as shown, you see that there were a lot of contribution from the private sector with a view of ending insecurity in our state, Delta. You know, when we talk about this security, first and foremost, there are certain factors that bring about insecurity, which, like I would say, with this kind of fund coming into the Delta State security trust fund pocket funds for coming to our system, it will help a lot in cushioning some of these effects. I will highlight some of them.
Okay.
You know, economic challenges
Yeah.
is one of the major factor that brings about insecurity. Ethnic tensions,
Yeah.
porous borders.
Yeah.
All these brings about insecurity. When people are not adequately engaged
Or employed.
or
yeah.
employed,
Yeah.
you understand, they can be willing tools in the hands of those who are recruiting people for criminality, causing ethnic tensions, and carrying arms from place to place. You will recall recently the TSS in Delta State,
Yeah.
working with other security agencies, they were able to apprehend certain persons that were carrying some dangerous weapons into Delta State.
Yeah, we know that. Almost
understand?
400 ammunitions were gotten. Yeah.
They got him.
Just during the weekend.
Very
reports.
huge, large
Numbers
of weapons.
in Asaba.
That's what I'm talking about. Porous borders. Then, with this, I'm of the view that one, our security apparatus, they must work together, synergize together to share informations. Also, there is a need for us to properly fund them.
Okay.
That's where the fund
Part of it.
partnership, synergizing with the private sector comes into this discussion. And you see that the states have realized so much.
Yeah.
We are of the view that these funds should be put into proper use. Buying of equipment, surveillance equipment, and security gadgets is good, but that's not enough. What I'm saying is not enough is that the persons, capital, they must develop our people.
Yeah.
Retrain, train, and retrain. Capacity building. Because with that, funds can be, we can...
Now, anyway, you just said what he stated. I remember in my introduction, as he stated, he said, yes, there will be training and retraining of security agencies to see how they can better use some of the equipment and also better prepare themselves for the challenges ahead. But my question now is, yes, this will be one of the first time we're having a private government partnership as it concerns dealing with the issue of security.
Yeah.
And many Deltans are a bit worried on the ground that, well, most of that monies will be used in buying operational vehicle for the Nigerian police and other security apparatus that will also be a part of this very move. Yeah. But we've had countless times whereby these vehicles are being bought to be used in Delta State, but we've seen them transferred to other states on account that it's either the Nigerian police force or the Nigerian military seems to be the ones handling it. So how can we now have that belief? What do you feel needs to be done to ensure that what this money will provide for Delta security remains in Delta?
The Delta State Security Trust Fund is put in place to ensure that they oversee this kind of issues that are coming up.
Okay.
Because they have trusted hands. And we're talking about Delta State. We're not talking about the Nigerian state. We're talking about Delta State as it concerns Delta State. That's what we're... So anything, the funds that were generated are going to be used in Delta State. And you see, the governor is saying that the security apparatus will work with local communities. So you know that this is a Delta thing. This is not what we are generalizing as a Nigerian issue. No, this is a Delta State as it concerns Delta State. So our security apparatus are going to work together. You see, they remodeled I think there was a Delta Hawk.
Yeah, Delta Hawk is now Delta
remodeled to Delta
Sweep.
Operation Sweep.
Yes.
So this is as it concerns Delta State.
So you feel the Security Trust Fund will definitely monitor and also manage those funds so that we do not end up having those funds being generated in Delta but taken outside.
In one of the statements of the governor during the occasion, he specifically mentioned that it is not just going to be, it's going to create, form other groups to partner with the Delta State Security Trust Fund. So they're going to select persons, security, community, and all that to ensure that it works properly for Deltans.
Okay, well, anyway, I'll come to the issue of community, and because he talked about also training of our local vigilante to be part and parcel of this. But before we go there, I want us to also look at another major one that's putting Deltans on the edge, and is the influx of other persons from other nationalities coming into Delta. Many have said it has in every way increased the crime rate in the big heart. So my question is, how really critical is also monitoring this influx of people, monitoring this influx of vehicles that seems to bring the arms? We know that happened during the weekend was gotten there at the Niger Bridge, coming from the southeast into Delta State, at Asaba. We know that for sure. But how can we also, what do you feel this government needs to do to stop the influx of criminal elements coming on the guise of wanting, because Delta State is free and big for everyone. But how can we also checkmate that to ensure that as much as they are coming to stay here and do legitimate business, it is only legitimate business that they do? Still talking about security.
Michael, you know, one, we cannot totally eliminate the inflows of persons migrating from one place to another.
That's true.
Some of them are for economic reasons. While, like we said, you know, you cannot totally eradicate crime. You know, some of them they come for how to help themselves. Presently now the state is thriving in some areas of construction. You see them going on and all around the state. So people are coming out to look for how to fend for their families, and migration is a normal thing. But you see, we in the NGO world, we have what we call corridors. We have to put in place proper security apparatus in those corridors. When I mean corridors, the corridor between Agbo, Asaba, Benin, Agbo, Asaba, that is a corridor. We have the corridor between Benin, Ogara to Saple, Warri, Axis, the corridor. Mind you, these corridors, a lot of criminality take place in these corridors. Drugs, prostitution, all kind of persons are in this corridor. So when these communities are engaged, traditional rulers are engaged, and there's this neighbor watch, we engage these people, we can be able to identify those who are not Deltans. And it's also good that the state government come up with a formula where we can have ID cards for Deltans who can identify our people. But so from these corridors, criminal elements entered into the states. But when the security is threatened, our justice system is threatened, you find out that most of these things we put into check. We have another corridor between the Uromi into Agbo. Those are corridors, even the Onitsha into Delta. Those are corridors where criminality takes place. So once we engage community, the community leadership, the local vigilante, we know our people. You cannot come into some certain communities without connivance with the locals. So if these locals are educated, are built up, there's the capacity, they are training upon training, because you don't relent. Because the criminals themselves, they try to improve on their tactics, operational tactics. So government must be up and doing. Again, like I always say, let us create jobs, encourage local industries to thrive.
To get these persons
engaged. Because once somebody is earning on a daily or monthly basis, it is difficult to recruit such persons into criminality. But once there are no funds, you engage people into the police force, for example. Some of them are coming with the mindset that I want to make money. From the roads or whatever, because they see what is going on, and it's printed in the mind of people who are coming into the police force or coming into the local vigilante. Once they are properly remunerated, that discourages easy connivance for money.
Okay, now, well said. I really appreciate you saying it that way, and we do also understand that this trust fund, the money will definitely be going in, also assisting in making payments to some of these security persons that will be engaged on a monthly basis. Now this brings me down to our local security. Well, Delta State will pride itself of having, for decades now, having their local security, or as we call them, vigilantes, which we do know of. So it's not a new thing that will come on board, but the governor wants to see how he can incorporate them to mainstream security. Now, that has also been a problem. Many Nigerians are undermining it rarely happens here. We could still remember the incident that happened in Anambra when a Delta copper was stripped naked. Now, it brings us to the fear of how really enlightened, how really trained are these vigilantes when it comes to civil paramilitary relationship. Now, what do you feel can help bridge that gap? Because if there's a gap between that relationship between the civilians and paramilitary or vigilantes, information, intelligence gathering will be hampered. So what do you feel needs to be done? Because we see these local vigilantes, sometimes they overdo it. You take them to different places. Now we now see them, they call themselves the hunters. They now stay on the road and also tax and extort bike riders. What do you feel we need to do to eradicate all of that, to pave way for a more secure Delta State?
Michael, these vigilante groups and maybe local policing, as we community policing, as we will call them, they've been in existence in Delta State. It's not just a new thing. They've been working with the security personnel, particularly the police. And sometimes they even team up with the combined police, combined team.
But with the military.
With the military. So they've been in existence and they've been working in Delta State. We must give it to them. To some extent, they are doing their best.
Yes.
But like we continually say, we must improve on our day-to-day activities. They must be trained. Mind you, some of them are not well educated. You understand? There's a level of education they have. You understand? But within the security system, they must be trained. We continually train them, engage them on how policing is done. And you find out that they always work closely with the police. I know that for sure, they resume at each of the police stations or area or the commands. They resume there and they have their pep talk and briefings before they go out. So they're always communicating with the police. One of the main things we need to do, you see, first, we must do reorientation. There must be reorientation. They must be engaged properly and then remunerated properly. They should be paid. The money should not just be put to buying of equipment. Let's ensure that those that are working with the Nigerian security apparatus are properly taken care of, identified, properly taken care of. And then from each community, we must bring people of integrity. You understand? Over time to work with this Nigerian security system. So when they work together and they share information properly, it will go a long way in helping us. The funds should not be just for vehicular purchase. Let us also touch the lives of those who are going out for this purpose.
Anyway, well said. Now, in case you're joining us, it's Dialogue on Atlantic TV, Viewpoint it is. And today we're talking about securing Delta, the big heart, especially looking at what inspired exactly a week ago when the Delta State government, in every way, had that public-private partnership as it concerns the Delta State Security Trust Fund. And what that very money intends to do to help secure Delta State. And just like the governor said, in every way, change the narrative and see how business can thrive. It can only thrive in a secured, safe, and prosperous environment, hence a need for that. Like we stated earlier, that law was signed, or rather that bill was signed into law in 2013, but this will be the first time it is now being implemented on the ground to help deal with the rising or the increase in criminality, not just only in Delta State, but the whole Nigeria. But the Delta State is trying to take a lead and also a change of narrative as it concerns that. But let's come back to you. Yeah, you talked about also the issue, or rather the governor talked about the issue of buying the required equipment. And one that many Deltans are wishing would still come on swing is the issue of CCTV. You will really understand that, yes, we're having construction. Delta State as it stands now seems to be more like a construction ground. But in doing all of that construction, how really important is also the issue of these CCTVs being incorporated into some major flashpoints in Delta State that have always been places of crime being perpetrated. From Udu to Uwe to Warri South, some of those major flashpoints that we need to have these. How really important is it to also have more of that fund into modern gadgets in dealing with this security?
It's good to really purchase modern security equipment. When you talk about CCTV, sometimes I would say we are not right for that as a people. We don't have power. And you see, we have an issue of maintenance culture as Nigerians. So even if you place CCTV in strategic places with, I would say they will want to power people. Some class people will argue that they will power them with solar. Good. It's good to power them with solar. How are we going to sustain it in view of maintenance? Those are the things we should look into. Our mindset should be first on handling how to maintain our infrastructures, existing infrastructures. So most times we drive through our roads. Yeah. You see some roads until it gets really, really bad. Government, local community, people around don't do anything. How can we maintain CCTVs? That is why I'm always of the opinion that we should do reorientation, work on the mindset of our people. It is not just buying the equipment and putting them. No. How are we going to maintain them going forward? That's one of my major concerns. But you see, with the kind of funds that we have generated from this arrangement, let us engage our local people.
So you feel the security lies in the locals? In the locals. In the communities?
Yes. You see, look at when the federal government engage this our security Tantinta.
Yes.
Security apparatus to
deal with the oil spilling.
No, not spilling. Watch over our pipeline and all those things. You find out that to some extent there be some sanity in that sector, and production has increased. Our daily output has increased as a result of the handling security to the locals. Okay. We know each other. So, coming to the security issue in Delta State, let us upgrade our system of operations, educate our locals. We can create some institutions where we teach how to secure our neighborhood. Period, time to time, when you engage these people, send them for training to such institutions. Okay. We have had capable hands in Delta in the security system in Nigeria. We have had about 2 former chief of defense staffs. Yeah. We have retired generals. Yeah. You understand? So let's engage these people. They are in retirement. They still have what to offer us. Engage them. Let's build institutions on security. Inculcate some curriculum in our schools. Teach our children how to be security conscious, how to be watchful. Mind you, if you tell your children at home that don't open door for any visitor if unless you call me, the children will adhere to it. They know that I must hear from daddy before I open door for a visitor. I must hear from my mother before I open door for a visitor. Because you are training your children from home. So if we put this thing, when we put some of this into our curriculum, they teach our children in the schools, parents play their role, community leadership play their role, we'll find out that to some extent, then, there's a trust issue. Mind you, Mike, trust issue is also a very serious issue.
Trust issue in what sense?
Neighbor to neighbor, community to community. We must trust each other. We must work together. Where there is no trust, particularly as relates to, we can mention ethnic tension.
Yeah.
If there is crisis between two communities and you procure weapons to fight, after fighting, how do you keep weapons?
You'll still fall in the hands of the bad.
It falls back to the hand of the people that were trying to remove
the
weapons from. So that's where trust issue come in. Working with our neighbors. Let's be friends to each other. A secured state is a developed state. Anybody that is bringing investment into a state wants to be secured, wants to be able to feel the environment, go around the town, enjoy life. You cannot invest millions of dollars in a state, and you cannot go around and see what is happening in the state.
Okay, now, well said. And two things I want us to also look at, and you raised it up. You talked about the issue of community being part of security.
Yeah.
And you talked about a thriving Delta will only come when the ground is more secured. We'll see investment. But you also agree with me that Delta was a thriving ground some 15, 20 years ago as it concerns having industries and local, international oil companies thriving in this ground. But one major factor that drove them away was the issue of DEVE, as it's being called. And many Deltans are saying whether you secure Delta or you do not secure Delta, when the issue of DEVE comes again, we might have a repeat of what we saw in the early 2000s, replay itself again. So how much or how critical is that dealing with the issue of DEVE? Yes, I know it has been signed into law, it has been prescribed by the former administration of Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. But we do understand that in some communities, the issue of DEVE is still taking center stage. So how critical is that this administration deals with the issue of DEVE? So at the end, as much as they spend to bring these investors in, DEVE does not drive them away.
Michael, we must strengthen institutions.
Strengthen institutions.
Yes, strengthen institutions. Our criminal justice system must be strengthened. It has been signed into law. This present governor was then speaker.
Yes.
When it was signed into law.
Yes.
And if we strengthen our institutions, capacity building, the policeman properly paid, adequately remunerated, the justice system, our judiciary, the lower arm are properly remunerated, these laws can be enforced.
Okay. So it's more like enforcement.
We must enforce it, because if you don't enforce it, how can it work? Somebody comes to a site to disturb somebody is developing, a builder. If such persons are apprehended, send them to court. Let them be imprisoned. Once we have some certain persons have been dealt with, the message will be sent down the system. Mind you, we must also be able to stand up as individuals, as developers. We must come together. Let me tell you a story. Some time ago, I was bidding somewhere, and these people came. They came in all guises. I simply went to the local government chairman, and I emphasized that this thing is in law. I will push it to the highest level in the state, that you are encouraging this in your local government. You understand what I'm saying? You are encouraging this in your local government and encouraging the boys to come to collect DEVE. How would people from outside Delta who want to invest in Delta State when they are harassed by our people? I'm a Delta,
Yeah.
and I've been harassed. If I don't stand my ground, you'd find out that somebody took 800,000 naira before you can even build. And I asked the man, I should give you 800,000 of my money. To do what? So a lot of people are suffering in pains as regards this issue that you raised. But when we strengthen our institutions, our justice system in Delta State, as it concerns Delta State, and then we sound warning to our traditional leaders, local governments, chairmen, councillors, that we mean business, it will be a thing of the past. And you find out that the governor presently is doing a lot to bring development to the states. We have to engage NGOs, non-governmental organizations, local and international. Let them know that we are ready to build our place. We are ready to develop our states, echo it to the world. You see, for the recent past that Julius Berger have been in Delta State, we have not heard of any issue of kidnapping of any of their staff, expatriates or whatever. It shows that the government is doing some things in, you understand? And most of these security issues are not
being discussed
in the open. Yeah. You understand? So a lot is being put in place to ensure that investors are protected. They have confidence to come and invest, put their money into place without fear. So, stressing our institution, like I continue to say, it will put a stop to the I know that to some extent is reduced because there's awareness that if you are caught and you are prosecuted, you go to jail. But we should put a lot of emphasis on this and to go a long way to help us.
Okay. Well said. Now, I want us to come back to another major issue because on the mining we're trying to be secured. We're picking out some of the flashpoints and some of the things that might in every way bring about more breakdown of law and order. Now, you talked about the issue of engagement. And when you mean engagement, proper engagement of idle hands. Delta State will pride itself as one of the states with the highest level of tertiary institution in the country as it stands. As of present, we have close to 9 tertiary institutions, if not more, in the state as a whole. And every year, they chunk out large number of graduates. The question still beckons. Many still perceive Delta State as a civil service state and not an industrial state as it stands. So how really critical is it to deal with the issue of security in getting more investments here and also government opening up the ground? I know it is not government business to create jobs, but rather put an enabling environment for business to thrive. But how also critical is it that government should also have a major stake in the creation of jobs in Delta State to better also accommodate and also engage some of these young Deltas that are rather stroll into crime?
You see, one of the major purposes of government is to ensure safety.
Security of
life and properties.
Yeah.
You understand? So government must always be seen to be partner in the development of a state. Now, coming to your question, you see, in recent past, the present Delta State government have been going out internationally and all that. It was in Brazil. I hear a reporter is going to Germany.
Yes.
You understand? To woo in investors into the state. And when you woo in investors, you find out that it creates job. If you look at the construction sector in Delta State presently now, if you go out, you see a lot of our youths are engaged working with the construction companies as construction is ongoing. Mind you, most investors are also watching.
Yes.
They are watching. Recently, the federal government just approved some funds for rebuilding of our seaports. And the Delta State seaport was also listed among the seaports that will be rebuilt.
Okay.
If the Delta State seaport, the Warri seaport comes on stream and is working, it will, to a large extent, create so much jobs for our people.
Okay.
So these are the areas I think the government should lay emphasis on.
Okay.
Federal government have made pronouncements. Let's follow up on this. Because a functioning seaport can take close to 3,000 to 5,000 persons off the street, direct and indirect employment. I know what I'm telling you. It can take up to 3,000 to 5,000 persons off the street, create jobs for them, direct and indirect. Middlemen, clearing and forwarding agents, people that are cooking, people that will carry, offload and tractors, operators and all that. It will take, when the Warri seaport was working, Mike, a lot of people, they go to the seaport in the morning. You just wake up from your house, you know, when you go to that place, you will find something to do.
Yeah.
And you will come back at the end of the day with money for your family. So, how could you recruit such a person into criminality when the person knows that if I go to the seaport, MPA will call you, MPA will call you, if I go to MPA this morning, I will earn something. So, when these things come upstream, and government should also showcase what we are doing in Delta States. Bring in investors, bring them for talk, showcase what we are doing. We're opening our place, roads, infrastructure and all that. Listen, when you bring in investors and we have workshop talks on what the state is doing presently, it will make people want to invest. And I see a Warri thriving again.
Well, anyway, many Deltans will put amen to that, your wish,
Amen.
or prayer to it. But before, time is not always a friend, especially when you're having such lovely discussion.
Yes.
And we're already, my PD is telling me we still have like 5 or more minutes before we really wrap things up on the show today. But one aspect I want us also to look at, yes, you've highlighted what this government needs to do to increase our job creation and also indirectly deal with the issue of insecurity. Because when there's more job, it's correlated, there'll be less insecurity in the land. But one also major factor that seems to be hampering a whole lot of business is the issue of double taxation. Yes, we do know the government is trying to increase its IGR. In 2024 alone, the Delta State government raised about 158 billion, surpassing 110 billion internally generated revenue. And with records that Dialogue have, we do know that as it stands now, in the first half of 2025, Delta State government has already raised 104 billion naira, and their annual forecast for this year or target was 135. So first half they haven't closed and will definitely surpass it before the end of the year. But my question now is the issue of double taxation. You know that has also been a wage in bringing many businesses to thrive. When you have multiple persons coming to tax, I'm talking of major international players that might want to come and deal with the issue of taxation. But also in our local way, we see how some of these market women being unnecessarily taxed. A woman will just be selling pure water and you see 3 or 4 persons coming to collect money from her. So how really important is it that this government should deal with this issue of unnecessary taxation and indeed help the free flow of business as it concerns in Delta State itself?
Michael, you have come to my turf.
Well, I'm happy to go there. I'm happy to go there.
Because essentially, one of the things you don't know about me is that I'm also a tax consultant.
Oh, that's good.
And I work with the Delta State Internal Revenue Services.
That's good to hear.
Yes, sir. One, you will find out that, Michael, you see, there are a lot of people that don't pay tax.
Okay.
A lot of persons don't pay tax.
Okay.
That's why at the bottom of the channel, we say we have what we call other revenue generation from other sources. You understand? Going to the law, The federal government, this Tinubu government, have harmonized the tax laws, which have been signed into law.
Yeah.
And it's going to be operational from the 2026.
Yeah.
You understand? And there's going to be a lot of tax education.
Okay.
You understand? We're going to educate our people.
Yeah.
And that law, I've already seen to it that this multiple transactions is being taken care of by the new tax law.
Okay.
And God willing, in the first quarter of 2026, Deltans will see a new tax regime.
Okay.
The issue of double taxation, multiple taxes will be a thing of the past. Yes, the government is working. The president chairman of the Board of Internal Revenue is very vast. Is working on how to see to that Deltans are not double task. Okay. Or businesses that are coming don't suffer on account of that. So a lot of things are going to be put into place. Already being put into place. Yeah. So that will be a thing on the banner. I will tell you next time that Mike. So I told you that.
I would like to hear that, and I might really bring you on board when that really happens, so you can also share in the glory.
Yes,
you said it.
Definitely, I will share in that.
Okay, well, anyway, we'll soon let you be, but before that, whether we like it or not, Delta needs to be secured.
Of course.
And it will give us every reason, not just for business to try, but also to give Deltans a peace of heart and we sleep with their two eyes closed. Now, before we really let you go, on account of security, what other advice would you give both the government and the people of Delta State to better secure Delta?
First, government, as a government, we must encourage medium and small scale businesses. Okay. You see, there's this empowerment, giving 100 or 150,000 to women or to young boys. It doesn't go anywhere. If you identify young people who are ready to work in their various skills, and we train them, educate them, and give them good money to start business, they will begin to employ others. Okay. There was a time I was at the United Nations, UN. You see China, as rich as they are, they bring children to United States to steal technology, to learn from Americans how to build phones. So the state sponsor people to go and learn. You understand? Learn, seek technology, and then you create an enabling environment when they are coming back. Because one of the things that when you send people out and they don't seem to want to come back, insecurity. Yeah. You understand?
Which the Delta State government is trying to do.
Which the Delta State government, you understand? So insecurity is one of the reasons you see people say, I they fear to go out because of the security challenges. But when we send people to train and we put security, we properly secure our state, encourage medium, small scale businesses to thrive, give them loans at a very low interest rate. You understand? But there are a lot of our young people who want to work, but they don't have access to finance. When they don't have access to finance, how can they develop? So government must look into that sector, work with private sector, banks and other institutions, financial institutions, give soft loans to ready hands that want to work. It's a bitter thing that a child graduates from university, there is no job. There is no job for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Government is doing a lot to recruit, but it's not left for the government alone. No. In India or Dubai, businesses most businesses start from 11 in the morning to about 1 p.m. at night because the place is safe. People are selling, buying, people are moving around. If I travel out, I do most of my shopping in the night. I go out to shop in the night because I'll take most of my time to rest, read, but I'd go out for shopping in the night. At 10 p.m., people are outside doing shopping. Money is exchanging hands. if we replicate this in Delta State, you find out that people will do so much. And people are willing to work. It's just that sometimes the tools are not there for them. So government should look into that. And then as individuals, we should be conscious of our environment.
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes if I see somebody that I've not seen in my streets, for example, I do accost some of them. What are you going to here? What are you doing here? I do accost some of them. And then once we begin to share information within ourselves, landlords have WhatsApp group. You see somebody that is connecting with the community that we stay. You see somebody that is not a face, a regular face in your place. Let's follow up on those such persons. To a lot of extent, it will curb insecurity.
Well, on that very advisory role, I really want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I'm talking of no other person, but public analysts and the critical stakeholders. And I'm now knowing also a tax consultant. And I'm talking of no other person, but Mr. Austin Owusiba, JP, for really taking your time and educating Deltans. And also putting your voice to the issue of how really secured the big heart should be. And I'm talking about Delta State. I would truly appreciate your time with us.
Thank you very much.
We really enjoyed this very lovely discussion. Educative it has been. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, anyway, for us, it's more like a wrap on the show today. You always know I will tell you to go drop your different comments, especially as it concerns securing the big heart. And we're talking about securing Delta State. Yes, like he said a lot. And many are what we feel we need to do as a people and the state to ensure that Delta State is best secured, and not just only best secured, but also seen to be bringing a whole lot of investment that we truly need. And funny enough, investment and security is correlated, because if no investment, no jobs, then it will be insecure. And if it's insecure, nowhere to stay and do business, well, definitely business will not come. But anyway, I'll just tell you to please drop your comments on our different social media platforms. Let's have your views as it concerns this discussion, and you will be surprised that we might really be taking on some of your comments and contribution. And it's important I state this. Yes, we are seeing your reaction as it concerns our major topic. We truly appreciate them. I will say we really love what you are doing, but keep us updated with what you need us to do more, especially on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.